Hello, so I was just watching a video uploaded by pompeygamesroom, another YouTuber, and the video was about replay value on games and what games you go back to and play over and over again. So I thought I would do a kind of video response. So like on his video, I'm going to start off with sports titles. So the first one is FIFA 98. As you can see here, I've got it on the Saturn and the Nintendo 64. The reason I go back to this one, it was one of the first games I got when I got my PlayStation. I was quite a late adopter back in, it had been 97. So yeah, this version you can do loads of stuff in it, you know, stuff that you can't even do in FIFA 12. You know, you can tackle the keeper, you got foul button, all sorts of tricks, and yeah, I mean you can't that's the definitive sort of FIFA experience for me. Not the best gameplay, but just the amount of things you can do in it gameplay wise, pretty awesome. So that's that. Second game is a Sega Megadrive game, and that's EA Hockey. I always find I can go back to hockey games mainly because they tend to just play as the current hockey games will play. I mean, this one's a bit more basic because it's one of the first 16-bit hockey games, but still very playable. So that's EA Hockey. So let's just pull out some random ones. I'll go for Super Nintendo. So Killer Instinct, I only actually got this the other day, but I do have Killer Instinct Gold also on the Nintendo 64. I just find that fighting games are just games that I can go back to and jump in and out of, just because there's no real point to the game other than getting better at the actual fighting. So for me, the original Killer Instinct on the Super Nintendo, better than the N64 version in my opinion. And another game for the Super Nintendo, Star Wing, just something that you can jump in, and I like the music. Some games I just like putting in just because I like the music, so that's why that's there. So we'll have some more Mega Drive games. Super Smash TV. If you've never played this, then I suggest you go out and get a copy. If you've got Super Nintendo, get it on Super Nintendo because the control scheme's better due to the extra buttons on the pad. But awesome game, amazing shooter. It's similar to Robotron. So yeah, get that one. Also, we have some more fighting games. So the original Mortal Kombat. I find Mortal Kombat 2 a bit more difficult, and it's a bit cheap. You just use sweeps all the time to win because the computer always blocks your special moves and whatever. And 3, Mortal Kombat 3, doesn't have all the original characters, but yeah, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 does, but not the getting confused now. Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 has the original characters as well. Mortal Kombat 3 doesn't, so that's why I prefer Mortal Kombat 1. Also, Street Fighter 2 Special Champion Edition. I do own Super Street Fighter 2, which is technically a better game, but I really like the intro to this one because it's closer to the arcade, the original Street Fighter 2 arcade intro. Prefer prefer the music, so it's another game that's kind of in here because it's good, but also because of the music. Here I have Mega Games 3, and it's not actually Mega Games 3 that is the game, it's the game that's on it, which is Alien Storm. Just sort of fits in with the likes of Streets of Rage and Golden Axe, them sort of games. It's got a cool sort of alien B-movie atmosphere to it, so awesome game. Right, so we'll move on to a Mega CD game, and this is Sega Classics Arcade Collection, and the games on it that I go back to are Golden Axe, Streets of Rage and Revenge of Shinobi for obvious reasons. I don't tend to visit Super Monaco GP or Collins very often, but these are just, you know, classic games, so I don't really need to explain why I go back to them. So couple of Sega Saturn games, and the first of all is the King of Fighters 95. This one's a Japanese import. It's just a huge 2D fighter, and 95 is just the year that I associate with the King of the Fighters, so that's one that I like to go back to. Huge massive roster of fighters, and you know, awesome. And another Sega Saturn fighting game, Fighters Mega Mix. It's just so playable, and you got all sorts of characters from Fighting Vipers and Virtua Fighter and just random Sega characters. You know, it plays in between Virtua Fighter and Fighting Vipers, so it's just an awesome game. And finally we have the original Tekken for the PlayStation. I just used to play this loads, and I just love Tekken, so for me it's always a good game to go back to. Again, I like the music, I like the style of it. It's just a cool game. So there's no current generation games in here, because usually what I do is I'll play through a current generation game, I'll just complete it and I'll sell it, and then I'll plough the money into retro games. So yeah, that's my little pile of games that I like to go back to frequently, so let me know what you think.